How are casuals viewed in the fighting game community? And point B, what games are considered, or what would you consider to be casual friendly? Floor is open. What's up?
As far as what games are casual friendly, I mean, it all depends on, who's like actually playing the game. I mean, you can take any game, go as, you can be competitive or you can just be a casual gamer. I mean, look at Marvel. You have, you have the casual gamers, and then you have the people that, focus nonstop in the lab, completely competitive. You have games as simple as Dive Kick. You have the casual gamers for that. It's a 2-button fighter. And then you have the people that are really competitive. So, I mean, it just all depends on, how you want to do, like how you want to play yourself, who you're playing with. That's pretty much the biggest thing I've seen. You have some games that actually cater to both. You have a game like Persona 4, where you have the preset combos, one button, and versus you can just pretty much, focus on whatever combo you want and, just put in the inputs yourself. So it just all depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah, Persona I think is a good example of that, because once I picked the game up and just seeing that people can actually do auto combos, I even heard someone even talk about they should ban this game from tournaments because of auto combos strictly, and it's like, I wouldn't say that's a game breaking thing. You can block the auto combos, and far as I can remember, correct me if I'm wrong, the only person who had a mix up in their auto combo was Chie, the little high low. So It wasn't too bad. You could block him easily. Yeah, you could land him and do a nice chunk of damage, but still, the game still rewarded you for if you could, go past a regular combo of just hitting that same button over and over and over again. So it gets you in the rhythm of how combos are supposed to flow and to do them, but there's still that reward, because think about it. Unless you're playing someone who has really just downright awful defense, you're not going to kill someone with back-to-back auto combos. Hopefully this person will wake up and, block, dodge, play the defense, But I think Persona 4 was a good example of that. Bringing up Dive Kick, people crapped all over that game off the jump because it was a 2-button fighting game, which you're thinking, how in the world are you doing this? And I like the principle behind Dive Kick. It's all about something that most people don't think about when it comes to fighting games. Spacing, mind games, how you, even with 2 buttons, you can still pretty much personally play a character your way. I mean, it's not a whole bunch of options like in a general fighter, but, you still have your own way of doing it. But, I think Dive Kick, despite most people, I think it was good because, it gets people into, like I said, spacing, mind games, reactions, that too. It gets you to like the basics and the principles of what fighting games, some skills that you can use in fighting games.
Like, I believe everybody starts off as like a casual player, and then, the more you want to put into it, just develops, whether or not you're going to stay casual. Because, I mean, nobody goes really into, like, especially if it's your first fighter. You're not going in there going to be like, oh, yeah, I got all these combos in my mind. I'm going to be playing this game all day.
Yeah.
You never go in there thinking, this is all you're going to be doing. You start off, oh, this game looks cool. Let me pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, getting your feet wet.
And then usually what happens is you find something that somebody else can do, and it's like, wait, you can do this? And then you slowly start to invest more and more time in it. So, I mean, usually nobody starts off super competitive unless, that's pretty much what you've been doing is competition. You're playing competitively with pretty much the majority of the games. Then you basically don't go into another fighting game as just, trying to be a casual player. So you always start off as casual, unless, you basically just start off as casual, and then you slowly work your way up to being competitive.
I agree with that because, people who, take the game, a little further, they invest more time into it. It shows that, like I say, when they get competitive, it's like they found their niche in there. It's a love affair with the game, I guess you could call it.
It's like you put in so much effort that, you want to be rewarded for it. So
I mean, you're pretty much analyzing every bit of it. Mm-hmm. You're learning how everything ticks and how it works. All that. You, silent person.
That is not my name. I was listening.
You got any input, though?
You all got some input.
That was my phone.
That was your phone.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But yeah, like Gautier said, you start off. You pretty much just start off casual, and then you basically, depending on
Gautier.
Yeah, he did.
Gautier.
Well, excuse me.
Sell the foes.
But anyway, I think everybody starts off casual, and then based on how you feel about the game and how much more effort you want to put into it, the so-called love affair, as Lotus said. Then you learn the specs behind it and how everything works, and then you become less casual as a gamer for that game in particular. So
yeah, hitting point A when the A of the question when I said earlier, how are they viewed in the fighting game community? I hate to throw the typical 2-word answer out there that most people throw when it comes to very situational things. It really depends. I mean, it seriously does. It depends on the attitude of that player, then. Most hardcores look at casuals as, they look down on them as being less skilled. And then there are some that are open-minded, like I'm pretty sure some of us are. There are some casuals that really can play these games very well. Then I don't think every casual is scrubby. It's just, I don't feel that reflection of skill is, I don't think reflection of skill connects with, if someone's a casual or a hardcore or not. All I feel casual and hardcore define is how much time somebody puts into the game.
I don't know. Like, usually when I look at the game, it's kind of hard to explain. I usually don't judge games based on whether or not I believe, they're...
Well, I mean, the players.
Player-wise, you have the people that are casual.
Yeah.
And typically when I play against them, I feel that I shouldn't go all out. Because I understand as a casual player, they're not going to spend nowhere near as much time as I'm going to spend, in the actual game. So I still want to make it fun for both people. I mean, I will admit a lot of the time if I'm fighting someone casual, I will pick different characters just to basically try out combos I know I normally wouldn't be able to pull off on anybody else.
Yep, sounds like
but at the same time, though, but when you think about it this way, at the same time, you're using something that you're not used to, automatically lowering your playing level.
He didn't say pick different characters to give them a little bit of edge. Then pick different characters to try out combos. In other words, they're guinea pigs.
But. You try not to say that because everybody has their pride and stuff like that. So you try not to just throw that out there. But you other people want to play and they don't want to get if you pull out your best character and this is their first time ever playing the game, they'll probably never play with you. I mean, it's just no fun not being able to do anything. Like I went to, I guess it was like just some friendly matches. I thought I was pretty good at Soul Calibur, and then discovered I was terrible at it. Just really bad.
Talking about 5?
It was Soul Calibur 4.
Oh,
it was at the point where every attempt I made was parried. Like I've never had this happen, and it honestly wasn't fun because I spent 90% of the match on the ground. I'll definitely admit to that. But I understood. It was like, hey, he puts a lot of time into it. So, I try not to do it back to other people. So I usually use somebody that, I don't use, that I'm not really maining. So if I'm playing somebody that I know isn't at the same level, I won't go all out on them.
Let me ask you this, though. When you thought you were good at that game, though, like, had you played a bunch of people, or were you just in the lab just doing, like, all types of stuff? Like, oh, my God, this is a beast.
I'll sit there and play against the computer, crank it up to the hardest level,
okay.
And when you can, I felt when I was like consistently beating the computer, basically I was using the computer as a guinea pig. It got to that point where I was just trying stuff out on the computer, and I didn't realize that this was my first time thinking, hey, people put enough time in this game to actually sit here and just fight against multiple people and literally just find out how many frames it takes for a certain move to hit.
Exactly.
So it was just non-stop parry after parry after parry after parry.
Yeah, it's like this. See, what you brought up there is the one thing that I think everybody has been backslapped with this moment at times before. you go in the lab and, well, not even the lab, but you play on arcade mode. You jock the computer up to the highest possible level you can, and then you beam the heck out of the computer. Still, you manage to get through. You'll get to that point where you'll lose one time on the tree, or you'll lose no times on the tree at all. And you think, man, I can get out there. I can freaking take some people on, man. And I've heard a lot of different casuals, not all of them, because like I say, I know casuals that are beast players. There's a casual that taught me how to play Arcane of Heart 3.
Which they're coming out with another one.
Awesome. Yeah. But that's the thing that I think everybody has run into at one point when it comes to that. Just because you can knock down the computer a bunch of times, it doesn't really mean you're good. If anything, I would say that means you have a good grip on things. Yeah. Because I remember back to the very first Decimaking, we mentioned Crew Round 2. Shout out to Crew Round 2 again. I played some casuals with, I think his name is Raiden, I believe. Raiden, I think that's his name, Raiden. I played some casuals in KOF with Raiden one time from Crew Round 2.
That's all.
And I figured I was pretty good because I could do all types of stuff. I was killing the computer in arcade mode, highest level, no problem. And I get to him and I could knock out one of his characters, but I barely ever got a set. I didn't even win one set against him. And he asked me about how much I've been playing the game and how I played it. And he basically told me that when I told him I play the computer a bunch, I play arcade mode a bunch, I've been in the trial mode a bunch, he told me, don't trust, don't rely, don't give so much priority to the CPU. Playing the CPU is not the same as playing another human player.
Yeah,
I think everybody has been smacked in the face with that at one time before. I don't want to repeat one of my stories about any one of those games where my cousin beamed me 99 games to 4, Dead or Alive 3. There it is again. You probably heard that last episode. But that was just, you get backslapped by that. And most casuals that spend most of their time playing the CPU in arcade mode, they have to understand humans can play, a person can play the game a very different way. Yeah. I don't even think the CPU, I have yet to come across a CPU, unless it's a certain character that does this, that actually will keep away against you. But then again, it's been a while since I've actually played the freaking computer, so.
I think my greatest example as far as running against a human player that, plays completely different from the computer. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yes.
I thought I was amazing. This is back in the days where arcades were everywhere.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I was playing on the Dreamcast, murdering the computer. Got to the point, I'm just crushing them. Of course, I always use cable. That's just who I had. But, went to the arcade, put my money up. I had no clue what was going on. So, as far as the whole casual versus, competitive, that meant nothing to me because I had no clue.
Right.
Standing in line, had no clue that the person that had next was whoever put their token on the actual arcade machine. So I'm sitting here waiting, don't know any of the lingo at all, no clue what's going on. I finally get my turn. I swear, when I saw myself get hit by 3 Hyper Viper beams in a row, I looked at it and I was like, dear God, this is possible.
For you, it was it was their Hyper Viper beams. For me, it was just straight Magneto.
Like literally, I did not know you could link 3 of the same supers into the same combo. Not even like spreading it out. It was super after super after super. The whole dragon punching and tiger kneeing stuff meant nothing to me. I had no clue. I just know what I saw from that day forth. I was like, yeah, I'm done with the arcade. It was an entirely different level for me.
It was much akin to that right there. And I think it's kind of appropriate. I think this is probably for everybody this was talking. Marvel 2 was the first game where I actually discovered there was a such thing as a combo where you get beat till you die, pretty much. And that's not counting the brutalities in Mortal Kombat Trilogy and all such. I mean, like, in-game, you get touched and bam. And, like, we discussed this last time about are combos too long in modern-day fighting games. I know my modern-day. I got it right this time, okay? It's like, and maybe this is just the way I was brought up or whatever. And like I said, I don't say this to be mean. It's just how I was brought up. Tekken Tag. Dead or Alive 3. My cousin gave me what every button did, and after that, you were on your own. he would ask a question about, little bumps and turns and things like that in the game, but you were given the controls, and that was it. You got your feet wet, you jumped back out of there, you took a shower, and you went back at it again. And that's how I was brought up, because like I said, he had squashed me over 100 times, and it's just, I wasn't winning anything. I'm getting link chain grab combos from King and Armor King, and I'm dying, and the clock is at 88 seconds and all that. It's like, what is going on? So, for any casual who, wonders, or just, all I say is this. You don't have to play the games as much as a hardcore does to get good. I just say, much like Raiden told me the first Decimakin, play more people. You learn a little bit more when you play another human player than the computer. Because think about it, most of the time, especially with modern day, I'm going to stop that, making sure I say it right. Modern day fighting games, the computer is just going to, in most cases, they'll combo you, they'll be dirty to you a little bit then. But if there's anything you may learn from playing a computer, it's this. Learning how to switch up your approach options, because for the most part, the computer will just block everything you throw at them, or tech every single throw attempt.
Yeah, you'll never learn a mix-up playing against a computer.
Yeah, you'll get frustrated. You'll think mix-ups are useless.
Because, when you think about it, like, human reflex, if you're playing a fighting game and you're blocking, the number one thing you're going to do is continue to attempt to block. You're going to hold back.
Right.
Which means computer doesn't have to worry about any of that. Computer's got ungodly reflexes. It's programmed into the stupid thing. People, you have mind games.
Right.
So, you're going to get something completely different as far as when you play human. You're going to get a lot better when you fight actual people. Yeah. You're going to get hit with a lot of stuff that you thought was impossible, because basically the computer has preset combos.
Yeah. Those
combos basically are never going to change. Look at Marvel, look at Street Fighter, look at any other game that you have constant new tech being discovered at all times. The computer is probably still doing the same thing from day one when you put that game in your system for the first time.
Yeah.